New York City, a place where the sun rises over a city that never truly sleeps, and every day brings a new story to its millions of residents. The city of dreams, the concrete jungle, where anything can happen. Here, ambition and hustle fill the air, and the streets pulse with energy, hope, and sometimes, tension. Right now, something big is happening, a political showdown that feels straight out of a movie, but with real stakes for real people. The mayor's job here isn't just about running a city, it's about managing a global icon with problems as big as its skyline. Every decision echoes far beyond the 5 boroughs. In 2026, Zohran Mamdani, a democratic socialist, takes office, promising deep social change. He vows to tackle inequality, invest in communities, and reimagine what city leadership can look like. But just as his term begins, Hollywood's Michael Rapaport announces his run for mayor in 2029, shaking up the city's political landscape. Suddenly, the race becomes a national spectacle, drawing attention from every corner of the country. This isn't just another election, it's a battle for New York's soul, with voters facing a choice that could define the city for a generation. On one side, progressive policies and social justice, with promises to uplift the marginalized and reshape the city's priorities. On the other, a call for tough-on-crime, pro-business basics, appealing to those who want stability, safety, and economic growth. The race is already shaping the city's debates: safety, affordability, identity, and what it means to be a New Yorker. Neighbors argue, families debate, and the city buzzes with anticipation. Two futures are emerging. One, a more equitable, community-focused city, where everyone has a voice and a stake in the future. The other, a return to order and affordability, with a focus on law, order, and economic opportunity for all. The choice isn't just between two people, but two philosophies, two visions for what New York can and should be. We'll explore the key players, their ideas, and the controversies that define this rivalry. The stakes are high and the world is watching. It's a story about power, personality, and the future of one of the world's greatest cities. A city that sets trends, breaks barriers, and never stops reinventing itself. So grab a pretzel, find a bench, and let's dive in. The next chapter of New York's story is about to unfold, and you won't want to miss a moment. Who is Michael Rapaport? If you've spent any time watching TV, movies, or scrolling through social media in the last 30 years, you've probably seen his face, or heard his unmistakable voice. Michael Rapaport is a true New Yorker, known for his brash, unfiltered style and his ability to speak his mind no matter the topic. He's appeared in dozens of films and TV shows, from gritty dramas to hilarious comedies, and he's never shied away from controversy. Whether he's playing a tough guy, a comic relief, or just himself on a talk show, Rapaport's energy is impossible to ignore. He's the loud, opinionated New Yorker, famous for his rants and raw honesty. His voice is instantly recognizable, and his opinions, often delivered with a mix of humor and frustration, have made him a fixture in pop culture. Rapaport's career spans acting, comedy, directing, and now podcasting, always with a passionate love for his hometown. He's never been afraid to reinvent himself, and his creative drive keeps him relevant in a city that's always changing. His political run might seem odd, but his social media presence has made him a voice for frustrated New Yorkers. Online, he's built a following by calling out what he sees as the city's problems, and he's not afraid to challenge the status quo. His campaign began not with a press conference, but a fiery Instagram video, promising to fix a city he sees in decline. That video went viral, sparking conversations across the 5 boroughs and beyond. Rapaport's appeal isn't experience, it's connection. He's out on the streets, talking to real people, listening to their frustrations, and reflecting their anger and hope. He channels the anger and nostalgia of those who feel left behind. For many, he's a voice that says what they're thinking, but louder. He's betting that by 2029, New Yorkers will want a mayor who's as fed up as they are, someone who's not afraid to call out the problems and demand real change. Fame gives him a platform most first-timers dream of. He's used his celebrity to amplify his message, drawing attention from both supporters and skeptics. The question is, can voters see him as more than just a loud guy from the movies? Can he turn his passion into real leadership, or will his outsider status hold him back? He's not playing by the old rules, and that's exactly his point. In a city hungry for change, Michael Rapaport is betting that being unapologetically himself might just be his greatest strength. Every campaign needs a slogan. Rapaport's? Nothing will be free. It's blunt and it's the heart of his philosophy. Personal responsibility, fiscal discipline, and tough love. He rejects expanding social programs, arguing that free handouts make the city soft and unsustainable. His 3 promises make New York safe, affordable, and thriving, starting with aggressive policing and pro-business policies. Safe, affordable, thriving, starting with aggressive policing and pro-business policies. Critics say this ignores systemic inequality and would hurt the city's most vulnerable. Rapaport frames it as common sense versus failed progressive experiments. He wants a city where hard work is rewarded, not one where only the wealthy succeed. The challenge: convincing voters that tough love is what New York needs. The debate is set: realism versus idealism, order versus equity. To understand Rapaport's challenge, you need to know Mayor Zohran Mamdani. Elected in 2026, Mamdani is a democratic socialist from Queens, propelled by a grassroots movement. He believes government must care for all, especially the marginalized, pushing for affordable housing, free transit, and tenant protections. His vision: a city built on community and solidarity, not profit. Supporters see him as a principled leader, willing to tackle deep-rooted inequality. Critics, like Rapaport, call his policies fiscally reckless and anti-business. They worry about economic decline and public safety under his watch. Mamdani's approach to crime focuses on prevention and alternatives to policing, not just enforcement. He's a polarizing figure, visionary to some, radical to others. His mayoralty is a test of whether progressive politics can truly transform New York. The clash between Rapaport and Mamdani is more than just a political contest. It's a battle of worldviews that cuts to the heart of New York City's identity. Their rivalry is fierce and the stakes are high, with each candidate representing a dramatically different vision for the city's future. Rapaport stands as the populist, demanding discipline, stronger law enforcement, and a focus on business growth. He's a voice for those who feel the city has lost its edge, promising to restore order and prosperity. He blames the city's woes on woke policies, bureaucracy, and what he sees as a lack of political will to make tough decisions. For Rapaport, reclaiming New York means cracking down on crime and cutting red tape. On the other side, Mamdani is the democratic socialist, seeing systemic injustice and inequality as the true roots of crime and poverty. He believes that only by addressing these deep-seated issues can the city truly thrive. Mamdani calls for bold government intervention, wealth redistribution, and sweeping social transformation. He envisions a city where everyone has access to opportunity, and where the government actively works to close the gap between rich and poor. Their visions are opposites. One solution is the other's problem. Where Rapaport sees strength in order, Mamdani sees injustice. Where Mamdani sees hope in reform, Rapaport sees risk. On public safety, Rapaport wants more police on the streets and tougher enforcement, while Mamdani advocates for prevention, community investment, and alternatives to policing. On economics, Rapaport favors tax cuts, deregulation, and incentives for business, believing this will create jobs and prosperity. Mamdani, meanwhile, pushes for higher taxes on the wealthy, stronger worker protections, and a living wage for all. Each sees the other's policies as a direct threat to the city's future, fueling passionate debate among their supporters, and deepening the city's political divide. The stakes are enormous, not just about policy, but about the very soul and direction of New York. The outcome will shape how the city is governed for years to come. This is more than a rivalry. It's a referendum on what kind of city New York will become, and which values will define its next chapter. The lines are drawn, the city is watching, and every New Yorker has a stake in the outcome. The divide between Rapaport and Mamdani goes global, centered on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Rapaport is a vocal supporter of Israel, using his platform to call out anti-Semitism. Mamdani, a critic of Israeli policy, supports the Palestinian cause. The controversy peaked when Mamdani didn't fully denounce the phrase, "globalize the Intifada," sparking a political firestorm. Rapaport seized on this, framing Mamdani as out of touch and morally compromised. For supporters, Mamdani's stance is principled. For critics, it's disqualifying. This issue has become a symbol of their larger cultural and political war, expected to remain a central theme in the campaign. In politics, admitting mistakes is rare. Rapaport promises to do just that. He vows, if I mess up as mayor, I'll admit it. No spin, no grin. This pledge is part of his anti-politician appeal, contrasting himself with leaders he calls arrogant and unaccountable. He claims he'll be pragmatic, not dogmatic, ready to change course if something isn't working. Critics call it a gimmick, doubting he'll follow through. Still, the promise helps him stand out as a different kind of leader. It's a shot at Mamdani and progressives, whom he accuses of never admitting failure. Whether he'd keep this promise is unknown, but for now, it's a powerful campaign tool. Rapaport is betting voters want honesty over ego. As 2026 unfolds, New York faces a stark choice for 2029. Two men, two futures. Mamdani's path, more social services, higher taxes on the wealthy, and a focus on equity and community. Supporters see a fairer city. Critics warn of economic decline and rising crime. Rapaport's path prioritizes safety and economic growth, with aggressive policing and pro-business policies. Supporters see a safer, more vibrant city. Critics fear a harsher, more unequal one. The debate. Is the city's role to protect and grow, or to care and redistribute? Is safety about policing or investment in communities? Is prosperity about low taxes or a strong safety net? These questions will dominate New York's political conversation for years. The city's future hangs in the balance. The 2029 Sobonan mayoral election is years away, but the battle lines are clear. Rapaport's early campaign ensures every move Mamdani makes is under scrutiny. The next 3 years will test whether progressive policies can deliver real results. If Mamdani succeeds, lower crime, stronger economy, he'll be tough to beat. If not, Rapaport's message of radical change may resonate. Rapaport must prove he's more than a celebrity critic. He needs real plans and credibility. The choice will be up to New Yorkers' steady progressive leadership or disruptive populist energy. This is about more than politics. It's about the city's identity and future. The road to 2029 will be loud, messy, and fascinating. All we can do now is watch, listen, and decide what kind of New York we want.